Hey. Hi. Hello. Oh god, I don't even know where to bloody begin. Hi all, I'm Matt. Welcome to my all new channel. You may have seen me around before. Like Doctor Who, I've regenerated multiple times but get killed off just as things get going. If anyone was around back with me on Twitch like in 2012-14ish, I stand by what I said back then. For anyone that wasn't there, I'll explain that later. Background footage is me killing some time on GTA 5 this week. There are likely some bits of truly terrible driving. As I live on the beachfront, I generally get easily distracted with people walking past. The beautiful summer weather brings with it bikini season, so not my fault. This channel, cleverly entitled Captain Mac, will be my main home base for the foreseeable, but I'll also be on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, as it's easier to keep the conversation and ideas flowing in a less formal setting than an edited video. My loves have always been strong single player experiences, tending to shy away from the tedium of repetition like Fortnite, but admittedly I've never played it. I love Pokemon since Red and Blue, Harvest Moon, Batman, Animal Crossing, GTA, Red Dead, Kingdom Hearts. There's so many I genuinely can't name them all, but this channel will be my main base of operation to play the new, experience the old, and challenge myself further. I started streaming originally while at university many moons ago as a bit of a laugh. Being at uni thrust me into a world of maximum socialising and high-octane hijinks, which, once acquired, was a difficult itch not to scratch. One would assume that once you finally get a little peace and quiet in your dorm room, you'd enjoy the tranquil quietness and alone time. So I started streaming, so no matter the time of day, the party could continue. Back then I was on the PS3, Xbox 360 era consoles. I was streaming whatever I was currently playing, with the most popular streams being one of my favourite games of all time. Connecting my PlayStation 2 through my laptop, I was playing the original PlayStation 2 version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I kicked ass. Under my pioneering streaming name of Moda, I was smashing it online, in my most humble and honest opinion. Back then I remember getting into a couple of thousand views, so if anyone does remember playing with Moda, my genius combination of Matt and Yoda, let me know. One of the games I was playing back then, although terrible at it, was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I had fun, tried my best, and successfully embarrassed myself at least thrice per stream. But it was the enjoyment of the game, interaction with viewers, sharing of opinions, and most importantly, not taking life too seriously, that drove me forward in my adventure as an online gamer. Until B-Day. Now, B-Day is not short for birthday nor steak and blowjob day. But again, we'll get onto that later in the video, or podcast, whatever this is, I can't quite decide yet. Anywho, while at uni, each Easter break we were given 4 weeks off before returning for a 6-week term, which is when our end of year exams would be held. After spring break, we still usually had 3 weeks left in which to study. Obviously, I preferred to game instead. Each year I used this as a prime opportunity to dive headfirst into a game that promised true engagement and rich lore. For 2012's Easter break, I decided to start playing Skyrim on the PS3, and my word did it take over my life. For 2013's Easter break, I took a different approach. My friend was playing Fallout 3 and I was mesmerised. Liam Neeson's in it. I think I played every inch of that game, collected all the bobbleheads, rare weapons, DLCs, the lot. On a slight tangent, there was a bobblehead in a cave to the north of the map, which seemed to be Deathclaw breeding land. I totally geared up, max powered weapons, full power armour with plenty of backups in my inventory. I was completely tooled up to enter their lair. I stealthed down the entrance ramp to the cave to find the bobblehead on a table. I'm not proud to admit it, but I grabbed it, turned around and bloody ran. Easiest heist ever. Anyway, B-Day was during the Easter of 2014. That year, again through a friend, I'd learnt about Mass Effect. Up until then I always merged Mass Effect and Dead Space together, and as I didn't genuinely like scary things, I avoided it like the plague. Similarly, seeing Fallout 3 wasn't overly scary allowed me to play it. The Mass Effect trilogy is the absolute greatest of all time in my eyes. Perfect story, characters, gameplay. I even liked my Destroy ending. Each game took me a week, and I was head over heels in love, more smitten for the game than I was for Kristen Bell. After the epic space adventure, I loaded up Modern Warfare 2 to continue streaming to discuss the ending to Mass Effect 3 and what I hoped for the next several games. A couple of games in, I was playing pretty well with a handful of kills when I started shooting an enemy in front of me. I had a full magazine, blasted almost every shot into the little git before he had enough time to turn around and blast my head off. Normally, I'd understand. There were some very skilled players out there, but this kid clearly wasn't one of them. Nowadays, I think we call it God mode, but basically he was invincible and couldn't be defeated. The game ended pretty sharply afterwards, to which I called the player out for cheating. Headset on, obviously. This kid responded, clearly only about 10 years old, and as a bloke in his early 20s I proudly called him a cheating little bastard, hence B-Day. I finished my stream later that night and didn't think anything more of it. A couple of days later, however, I logged into my stream but couldn't. My account had been suspended or locked, or I'd been put into detention or something. Apparently bullying and harsh language to minors is against some kind of agreement or terms and conditions I'd agreed to follow. Now, Modern Warfare 2 has an age rating of 18, so the kid shouldn't have been playing it anyway. I accept though that Twitch wasn't, or I assume isn't, still 18 plus, but the damn kid still shouldn't have been there. My account was going to be locked for something like 72 hours, which I was willing to accept my punishment. I can't quite remember what the full reasoning was, but with exam season looming ever closer and plans urgently needed to be made for what I was going to do after graduation, I stepped back from my streaming time. I never ended up signing back into my account, never unlocked it if that's what needed doing. Many years later though, when I looked into my account, it no longer existed. I kept meaning to get back into it as I had so much fun, but life got in the way. As I said at the start of this monologue, I've regenerated online a couple of times here and there, but never with the intention of doing it properly. My favourite one was a couple of years back for the 24-hour Pokemon Sword and Shield livestream, which I stayed up for the full 24 hours to experience all the massive reveals that Pokemon had to offer. 15 minutes in, however, I was bored beyond belief, so we started talking about other stuff in the chat. Then I showed how to make a pina colada, leading to a very entertaining 24-hour live show, even though we likely missed all the Pokemon reveals as the chat and I got totally sidetracked. The hangover, however, whew, that wasn't smooth. Now, however, I've decided to come back and share my stories, and I really want to hear yours. Although I'm an avid single-player gamer, talking about it brings out so much more of the enjoyment for me, and I love to know what other people think too. On that note, anyone here that did play either of the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 games, let me know your memories of them, or of the newer iterations. Now, however, times have changed. The streaming landscape is epic in scale and diversity, and the challenge to get people to actually view your videos is harder than ever. So if you're watching this, hello. You're here for the very start of my next journey of discovery, creation, and hopefully a great deal of humour. Starting with, I don't actually know how to start a video. Marley13 starts with "Alrighty folks" in his proper Scottish accent, and Michael at M&J TV starts with "Hello Pokey fans." I do wonder if I could steal that. Being English may be something more local to me. Sheffield has "Now Then," which is a twist on "Now Then," which would help me instantly dive into the video topic, game or discussion, but doesn't really sound right coming from me. Whenever my mum rings me, I usually answer the phone with the Yorkshire "How do?" The local twist on the informal "How do you do?" No idea why I do it. I probably saw it on telly and it stayed with me. "How do?" Perfect, sticking with it. With the video opener chosen, I need a cracking logo. I've been using the same one on my PSN and Discord accounts, so I'll probably stick with that for the time being, but anyone out there with a creative flair and feeling generous, I'd love a new logo. Favourite colours are blue and pink, love the neon twist. Something that if people see it, they'll instantly recognise it as that Captain Matt guy off the YouTube. I've already created an account on Instagram and Twitter, mainly as an excuse to follow Margot Robbie. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Next, every TV show has an opening theme song and video, but I don't want to filibuster my videos to increase their length, because we all know length isn't important. And don't comment below if that's true, I don't want to know. A 2-minute opening sequence like Game of Thrones would be draining to sit through, so I'm certainly irritating enough already to add that on top. A short, snappy-like jingle like a TV advert would be perfect. I've always really liked the theme song to Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town, Nobody's gonna sing my channel name like the Mr. Beast videos. Might try and nick the music from Harvest Moon if I'm allowed to. Theme tune selected, logo created for now, time to combine. Be right back, rubbish editing skills coming up. Nailed it. At some point I have to do the obligatory please like and subscribe thing and point out that only 40% of my viewers have subscribed. I don't actually have any subscribers, so it genuinely makes an enormous difference if you were kind enough to do so and take this journey with me. I'm going to be constantly checking to see when my first subscribers subscribe. Please let it be you. Anyway, and finally, I need the right setup. The spare rooms in my house have already been used for other hobbies and activities, which sounds a lot naughty than intended. The living room has a 60-inch TV in it, all of my games consoles are hooked up to it, and it's the current location of my PC, so I ain't moving nowhere. The space behind me under the stairs would fit a nice display unit for my epic collection of gaming and movie related artefacts, which actually I do have quite an idea I like. I'm going to leave the display behind me empty once I've got it, and fill it during my times playing and other activities going forward so that the things displayed actually mean something to the channel. As the space behind me is under the stairs, I've found these stepped bookcase-like shelving units that I'm probably going to use. I'll probably go for the black so I can light it separately with LEDs rather than it looking like a bright white light behind me. My halo is bright enough already, don't want to brag. I suppose with all that covered, my next phase is to implement all my ideas and set up my base of operations. Over the next few weeks I'll purchase what I need and play around with editing software to find the best fit for me. Any further ideas you think of and I've overlooked, please let me know. As for my next video, although Final Fantasy XVI is releasing on the 22nd of June in the UK, which at the time of recording is actually tomorrow, I've taken the decision to pass on it for the time being. Although it looked heavily dramatic, it didn't quite hook me. I was majorly excited for Forspoken, but unfortunately was extremely let down and quickly bored. The hype really got to me. Plus I received the game early, uploaded it, and was given copyright penalties on YouTube. Not my bloody fault that they delivered the game 5 days early. By the time it was officially released I was already bored of it and had moved on. My next video will be my opening experiences of Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, releasing on the 27th of June. I was a huge fan of the original Harvest Moon game on GameCube, so really looking forward to that. Anyway, that's the end for today. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.